Well, hello there. Hey, y'all. I'm coming to you all a little weary, but excited because I just finished um, my role as a story collector for Mothering Justice, and I love that title, story collector, because I collected stories from moms and caregivers from across our state this afternoon on behalf of the Mothering Justice Fund. And we had an amazing day at the Capitol today. And one of the things that I love about days like this is that it brings out everybody, every gender, every religion, every orientation. It's nonpartisan. It's activists, grassroots organizers, um, nonprofit leaders, health and wellness professionals that convene to support Black moms. And so, what could be, I mean, seriously, what could be a bigger honor than to support and advocate for Black moms? And the Mamas March with the Mothering Justice Action Fund convened a rally today. So many elected officials showed up, a marching band from Saginaw Valley, T was clocked. They were amazing. So I just wanted to name that because that's part of the work, right? That's part of what I consider a whole life. Because life, according to Vishnan Lakiani from Mind Valley, a high functioning adult thinks of life in this way. What do you want to learn? Where do you want to go, grow? And what do you want to contribute? So today, gifts opened the door, not just made room for me, opened the door. So I supported today as an on-site media correspondent in the form of a story collector. So just wanted to name that. So anywho, getting back to the title, you don't have to force your life to work. You don't have to force your life to work. So I write these reflections on Substack. So follow me on Substack. I write these reflections on Substack called Soft Power Sundays. And the way I framed it this Sunday is how my life actually works. And I haven't shared like this in a while, but it was truth telling for me because I just had to be really honest looking over the entire arc of April. And it wasn't because I didn't have anything to say. I mean, I had many things to say, but what I wanted to do is me first. I love to make myself proof of concept first before I share any insight or aha or a pearl of wisdom, as they say. I want to see how it works first. And so I started really just looking at my life and I needed to live it first. And sometimes living comes before language. I didn't have language for it. But lately, what I'm noticing about my life is that it doesn't move through force, pressure, or performance. It definitely does not move through performance. My life moves through relationships, resonance, recognition. And what I've really come to understand, it's all divine orchestration. So a few weeks ago, I can't believe it, but a few weeks ago, your girl was in Denver. I had the amazing opportunity to go to Denver, and I was moving through an aligned room. I didn't have to translate myself, I didn't have to edit myself, I was my full self. And I was invited to bring a networking to a beautiful coalition between two women of color called Blooming into Brilliance, attending her becoming. And when I got back to Detroit, it reminded me of what love really feels like. So it really set a new bar for me. And I witnessed something that took shape in that room was this truth. It was no performance. And what stayed with me also was the poetry event or workshop that I facilitated for the Boys and Girls Club on behalf of the Zontas. And I was invited there by someone who knew me when, and not just knew me when, very formative, my teacher. And teachers are unsung heroes. And to this day, I believe that soul of a lead, her, culture shift, hers unite. I can definitely name Miss Tate, but she was Miss Hamler. I can name Marcia Whitaker. In fact, my teacher, she told me, she was like, I'm sorry, Miss Williams. Miss Williams now. She was like, call me Marcia. And I'm like, okay, Marcia. It felt difficult to call your teacher by their first name. But here we are, because I'm great grown. I suppose it's time. But what I'm getting at, shout out to Miss Wolf. Hola, señora. En caso de que su hija está mirando, vigilando este video, por favor, Jackie, tell your mom, hola. So that was my Spanish teacher from middle school who saw something in me when it came to this language, the deep appreciation. She introduced me to Selena. I can tell you that who introduced me to Selena Quintanilla Perez, because we'll do anything for Selena. And I was introduced to the album Amor Prohibido. But getting back to what I really want to name here is that I was held. I've been loved. My becoming has been nurtured. And so her inviting me back to help the next generation, I felt, you know what, it's a no-brainer. It's an easy yes. Because this is lineage work. This is legacy work. And I want to make something very clear. These are not just events, at least not to me. These are sanctuaries. These are spaces where people can rest, be seen, held, and loved. So let's be honest, not everyone going to church. You know, people are not necessarily going to religious spaces, yet they want to feel something deep and resonant and connecting, something that's transcendent, but something that's also very imminent. And for me, God is never absent. God is everywhere present. And perhaps we're being invited to experience the sacred just a little differently. Because the way I thought life worked was this way: plan, push, perform, prove, receive. But now in my body, I feel something different. I feel something moving through me, and it's so much different. It is move, connect, be seen, be supported, continue. And there's a relief in that, because you're not contorting to be faithful. I'm not contorting to be faithful. So I want to offer you this question. Where in your life is it already working without force? Where in your life is it easy? Or maybe sometimes it's so easy you take it for granted because it happens so easily. As I close, softly, fully, and on purpose, if anything I said here resonates with you, check in with me here every Wednesday. I'll leave you a link to the Substack that I posted this Sunday or this Sunday past, and let me know your thoughts. I'd love to engage with you, especially if you're on Substack. It's also here in the show notes, but what I'm going to do is come back after the video is done and put the links there for you to enjoy at your leisure. So that's all I have this Wednesday, folks. I hope that all is well with you, and that I hope that you can find some ease somewhere in your life. Where is it easy? Because right now, life is not easy. I know that. And especially people who are doing faithful human work. In that faithful human work, it requires a lot of capacity. It requires a lot of resources that may feel like they are not available. But what I do know is that there is an ever-present help and always a ram in the bush. So with that, friends, I bid you adieu. Adieu, 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 adieu. And I'll see you all next week. I am Brenda Williams, womanist convener and cultural strategist, lover of life, writer of Soft Power Sundays, and founder of Culture Shifters Unite, solo leader of the podcast, and the Brenda Williams Show. All right, bye for now.